Welcome back, you guys. Today we are going to be doing some spring twists. These spring twists are one of a perfect protective style to get done. As well, it can add you some extra length for your two-strand twist and some thickness. So if you don't like the length of your hair right now, but you still want to wear your hair in twists, this is perfect. The way that it twists, it helps you so that way you can still reach your strands. So this is not one of those styles where all of your hair is completely covered and tucked under. This one kind of works with your hair with the twist, so that way you can still hydrate as you need to and you're not damaging your hair in the process. I personally love doing this techniques for spring twists where you are doing it as if you are starting a knotless braid. When you're doing it that way, it doesn't have the knot at the root and it makes it look as natural as possible. So as that person's hair grows out, it looks like their actual hair even before it grows out. A lot of my people that get this style done, they will go places and people will swear it is their real hair. And that's the look that it gives, and it's really nice. It's a really light style too, so if you're looking for something to just give you some thickness and a little length without it being so heavy, this is perfect. I absolutely love these. They can be done smaller or larger and still come out looking really nice. I personally don't suggest doing the larger ones if your hair isn't at least past like where your neck shoulder length type area is at. If you go longer than that with the bigger ones, you can kind of tell where your hair stops versus where the hair keeps going for the synthetic hair. So you want to at least have a decent length if you're going to do the thicker part ones. But these size and smaller, you can't even tell. It looks really nice regardless. Also with these, when you are doing these twists, you want to clip the very tip of them, because if you don't clip the very tip of them, not the whole curl, it has like a little tiny frizz piece that will be at the very bottom. If you cut those off, it will actually make it where the style lasts longer and you don't have to worry about those little pieces getting caught onto each other, because when they get caught onto each other or your clothes, it snags and it makes the ends look really nasty early. So if you just clip those little pieces off, it stays as a cute little coil for the entire time that you have them done. So I really like that, and that's a good tip to make sure that you guys do. Have any of you guys ever tried spring twist? Let me know in the comments below. These are a couple different ones, and it's actually one of my favorite hairs to use for kid styles too. You guys have already seen me do a close off before where I explained how I like to go and start at the front first. When I prepped her, we had already went through and did her hydration spray, oiling her scalp, her strands, put her some moisturizer on there as well, and I just twisted her up for the style to basically, my parting was getting parted off, so that way I knew what I was doing. And then now, since I've been going through and doing her twists, I don't have to worry about doing anything or adding much product besides just hydrating extra if I need to twist down the twist. You want their hair to be smooth as you're twisting it down, so that way the twists look natural. Using a gel, I don't like it because it shows the two different textures more, and it makes their hair stick out more as the hairstyle starts to get older. If you do it where it just leave it as natural as possible and then you do this style, it's perfect. So you notice when I prepped her, I didn't blow dry her hair. All we did was went through, put in her hydration, the different moisturizers. I twisted her up and I tightened her roots so that way we can sit under the dryer for the roots to dry. The rest of the hair, left it as is, and she did not dry all the way out completely, because as I'm working on her hair is going to continue to dry. So, and you want to keep it where that hair still has that moisture, so as you're twisting, you're getting the best look. So you don't want it to be straight either. Spring twist is not for someone with straight hair because their hair is going to stick out of the twist. The way that spring twist hair is made, it bounces back once you let go. So if you have straight pieces and it bounced back, those straight pieces stick straight out. And it's not cute. It makes the person's hair look really messed up. And for someone that they just got their hair done, nobody want to walk out looking like that. And then on top of that, if they have to tuck them back in very frequently, it's annoying. You can tuck them back in using a crochet hook, but who really wants to do that? So I really only offer this service if my clients are in a full natural state, if their hair is relaxed, or if they have heat damage. I typically try to get them into a different style instead of letting them get spring twists, because the work falls on the client at this point. They got the style done, so that way they don't have to actually do a whole lot with their hair, not to have to keep on fixing it every morning, because that's pretty much what it ends up turning out to be. Let's talk about the type of hair. Yes, the brand of hair that you guys use matters. Okay, maybe not the brand, but the way that the hair feels matters. Do not use hair if you separate it and it feels rough. This hairstyle, the hair strands have to be separated so that way you could actually have a cute fluffy twist. If you leave it as its full piece, you're going to have more like a Nubian type twist look. It's not going to be this fluffy look. You have to pull the strands apart to actually make the fluff to get the twist to have a fluffy look. So when you separate those pieces, if you notice that the hair texture now feels rough, don't use it. Just go get some more hair. Use the hair that feels soft. I will link one that is below that typically does very well. I have had some brands before that they may be good for some time, and then you order again and then it switch up on you and it don't feel soft anymore. So if it doesn't feel smooth, don't use it. You want it to actually feel smooth, because you got to think about the fact of it rubbing against their face, especially on a short set. It's going to be rubbing and causing that friction on their face repeatedly. As well, the friction from the synthetic hair to your hair. If a hair is very harsh on your hair, it can break your hair too. So think of how it feels, make sure it feels smooth and it stays that way. The last thing to talk about is maintenance and upkeep. This hairstyle can be worn for 4 to 6 weeks. At 4 weeks is when I try to have all of my clients come in. When it starts going past that 4, when you're getting into that 6-week area, usually that person's edges are already grown out so much that the braids start to twist. You don't want that. You want to catch it before the braids hang that they are able to twist. Usually that's at the 4-week range where you're just catching it before it gets ready to do that. So when you do your perimeter, you want to do the entire perimeter. And I usually do 2 rows all the way around the entire head. I do the entire head because they do have a perimeter around the back of the head too. If you leave those also can have a lot more lip buildup than the very front hairline, because it's touching collars and things like that. So don't just do the top, don't just do the front edges, do the entire perimeter, so that way this style can actually help them and not become a bad thing for their hair journey. So on a daily, just mist their hair. They do oil as needed, cover their hair up with a bonnet. I always tell my clients to wear a headscarf on their front edges if you're going to wear a bonnet, to keep it from that inner lining rubbing against the friction of your hairline. But that's it.